Morning, friends. I, see Nitesh Setia, Chairman, Chittorgarh branch of CIRCF ICI, on behalf of Professional Skill Investment Committee (ICI), welcome all the participants in today's webcast on mastering the art of public speaking of chartered accountants. I welcome to the today's resource person, C. Kalpana Thakur, and the event enabler of the Chittorgarh branch. Friends, C.A. Kalpana Thakur is a dedicated chartered accountant driven by her passion for training and making a positive impact in the lives of brothers, which she considers her ikigai, which a profound dedication to public speaking, soft skill training, corporate training, and motivational speaking. She brings over 10 years of extensive experience in the audit and assurance domain. Kalpana, a seasoned finance professional with experience at Deloitte Haskins and Sell, currently excel as a partner at Abhishek K. Jha and Company Chartered Accountant. She is also founded Art of Influences, a training session services firm specialized in soft skills such as communication, public speaking, and storytelling. Recently featured on the Josh Talk platform, Kalpana combined her financial acumen with a passion for personal development, offering a unique journey marked by expertise in both domains. Beyond her professional endeavor, Kalpana is also a social activist, a Toastmaster, empaneled faculty with ICI for MCS and OC batches, and a MEPSC certified master trainer, committed to empowering individuals and organizations alike. She stands as a seasoned professional with a holistic approach to growth and development. Now I welcome Shri Kalpana Thakur for his deliberation. Madam, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nitesh Senthiaji, Chairman of Chittorgarh branch, the event enabler of our today's session, which is conducted by Professional Skill Enrichment Committee. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to deliberate one of the topic which is dear to my heart, public speaking. So just give me a moment to share my PPT. Is my PPT visible to everybody? Thank you. Great afternoon to all the dear participants present in the today's session of Mastering the Art of Public Speaking. If you are here in today's session, in mid of 31st December, when we are about to say goodbye to this year, 2024, a calendar year 2024, it shows the dedication you have to master this skill. Before we dive into our discussion for today, I would like you to think, take pause, and what you are watching on your screen, what this picture is all about, what it says. This part of our head or our body, our mind, it is projecting this canvas in front of our, and what I am trying to convey to all of you. If you are not aware that the life which you are living at this moment is nothing but what you have conceived here, what the thinking process is going all the time here in your mind. Because remember, my dear friends, everything happens twice. First, we imagine it, we think about it, and then the action happens. Before we delve into our discussion for today, I would like you to introspect what that thought process, what that thinking, what that self talk is going on all the time here. If till this time, till this moment, if you are not aware that what is going in your mind, parallelly at every moment, say for example, right now you are attending my session. We are into this slide, the discussion is going on, and at the same time, some chatter must be going on here. You will agree to the fact that maybe what you'll be doing today evening, or maybe you are attending this session from your vacation. So, this is the last week of December, or if you have kept your work for today aside to attend this session, maybe the baggage, the remains of the work which you have left aside is in your mind and maybe you are thinking about it. Or I would be happy if you are excited at this moment that yes, I'll get a piece of information to take a step ahead in my public speaking journey. So I hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. One life you are living physically, the action you are doing, taking, the day to day, at every moment, the activities you are doing, and at the same time, what is going on here. Because that is very important when we talk about any skill. And my dear friends, you all will agree to the fact that public speaking is not a talent with which we are born. It is skill. And a skill can be built up. We can master it with continuous effort and dedication. So, what is the agenda for today? We will talk about limiting belief, stage fear, how to connect with audience, and after that, what are the three things we should be focusing on when we will be taking our journey ahead, step by step. So let's start. Again, I am having a question for all of you. What is that one difference between successful and unsuccessful people in this world? Since this is a one-way communication, I will not be able to know your answer, but think. If only me speaking about how to master the public speaking and you are not putting the effort, it will be a one-way communication. So whenever I urge you, whenever I request you to think, to introspect, please do it to have the maximum benefit of our today's session. So, my dear friend, what is that difference? And that difference, why I have put across this point, and I believe the difference which is there in successful people and unsuccessful people is belief. Yes. As per one of the famous book by David Sansford, what he says that the book name is Magic of Thinking Big. How to do it only comes to those who believe they can do it. So, do you believe? Before, I'll repeat this sentence quite a few times during our discussion today that do you believe that you can be a public speaker from bad to good, from good to great? Do you have that belief before the world will believe in yourself? If not, that is the foundation to have. And I'm not talking only by knowing the theory. The person who is sitting in front of you has lived that journey from not believing in my own self to here today when I am deliberating the session on how to master public speaking skill. There was a study conducted by Ellen Langer, who is psychologist. And in that study, what has been done, the study was conducted on 80 hotel maids. And hotel maids schedule for the whole day, lot of work, lot of physical activity, cleaning, laundry, utensils, right? But when it was tested, what found that all of them were having the health issue similar to someone who is having sedentary lifestyle. And what is mean by sedentary lifestyle? The person who sits for 9 to 5, more than 8 hours in a day, and do not do much movement. So they were having the similar health issue. And when it was asked to them that, do you exercise? They said, no, we don't get time actually to do it. So what was done? They have been divided into two groups. And to first group, what the changes have been done, a new piece of information was provided that look, the activities, the work which you are doing from morning to night is actually enough to keep you fit. And it is medically proven. This piece of information was provided to first group and there was no change made to the second group. They were doing as they were before. After 30 days, and to remind you, to give you this extra piece of information, there was no change in their diet. In the first group, they have not done anything extra or less as they were doing before. After 30 days, when test was done again on the health of both of the groups, what was found? There was improvement in the first group to whom this information was given. This belief has been given. The only change which was made in the first group was earlier they were not believing that the activity, or they even not aware that the work they are doing is actually enough to keep them fit. And with that belief, with that information, there was improvement in their health. So do you have that belief in yourself? And it is the foundation to start your journey of public speaking. If you are someone who is suffering from limiting belief, what is limiting belief? You tell yourself all the time that yes, you are not capable enough. You cannot do it. Always keeping yourself back, that this is not meant for me. Are you that someone? Because it is found majorly that when we talk about public speaking, we are having many limiting beliefs. I do not have enough experience. My English is not good. Do I have anything new to bring on the table? I do not have enough time to prepare, to showcase what I am capable of. I'm sure any of these you are having, you are holding at this point of time. And the time has come to move out of this limiting belief. Why this limiting belief happens? I'm mother of two kids, Keshav, who is 6 years old, Raga, who is 4 years old. When they are in public, in market, or in school, or at any place for that matter, they are not hesitant to speak up. But, and that's how we were in our childhood, right? We were not thinking that what will happen if we will speak, if we will express at this moment what we are feeling, and how this change happened when we attain that age of majority. During the process of becoming older, what happens that we are receiving that negativity, that limiting belief from surrounding, from the environment we are living, maybe at school, maybe through our parents, maybe sometime we have put in efforts to speak up in class or in the gathering and we were matter of laugh, or we have not put across a strong point and it was not appreciated. And this has caused this belief in our mind that we are not good enough. We cannot do it. What you have to do? 3 steps to overcome limiting beliefs. First of all, identify what is something, what are the things that is stopping you to embrace your journey of public speaking. Write it down, all of them. Identify one of the biggest fear out of all of them and convert it into your strength, into your confidence, and take action. It's been 2 years when I have embraced my journey of expressing myself openly at any point of time. And through the progress of our discussion, I'll tell you that how I felt the urgency to do it and how it all started. But to remind you at this moment that how I have done when I'm talking about these steps, that to first to identify. So what was my biggest limiting belief is I do not have enough experience and a command over English language. I've done my 10th from Hindi medium government school, so was not having that much fluency and command over the language. And another thing is, what do I have to share when there is so much enough knowledge is already available? That was my biggest limiting belief. That was. And how I have turned into my strongest point when we talk about converting that limiting belief into our unshakable confidence, that from where we have started our discussion, it happens from here. You will agree to the fact that whether you are feeling excited or nervous at any point of time, the symptoms in the whole body is more or less the same. But the message which is given by which part of our body? Here, the one about which we have discussed, we have emphasized at the start. So, at any point of time, are you feeling excited or nervous? Is the message goes here. And when we turn our limiting belief into our self confidence, what we are trying actually to do is constantly training our brain that, look, I am good at it. And with a constant practice, I am on the path of be the best. And there is a set practices to follow. And my favorite one is affirmation and visualization. One of my favorite affirmation is, it is not in terms of public speaking, but one of my favorite is, rest of my life is going to be best of my life. I am world's #1 motivational speaker, corporate trainer, and mindset coach. And when I say this thing every day morning, together with my morning rituals, I do not just say it, I feel it. So you have to work upon it, because What law of concentration says, what you think about, you bring about. You will agree to the fact that it must have happened in the past, that you must have thought about something, some person, or some food item to eat, or anything for that matter, and that have come in front of your eyes. So, what is that? That is law of concentration, law of attraction. So, where you have to bring your focus, where you have to train yourself. Brian Tracy says you are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. So, my dear friends, when in any setup, being offline or online, when the opportunity comes to raise your hand or speak up, at that point of time, what that thought process going in your mind, that is, if you are telling that, oh, can I do it or not? Whether do I have something to contribute? Oh, I will not be able to do it. Be aware from now onwards that is your limiting belief. Whatever you are thinking, you are. If you will keep this part sorted, the foundation, the rest of the journey is easy. This is my personal experience from last 2 years. And time and again, it happens that we will compare ourselves from someone who is already doing great, one of the great speaker. We don't have to do it. We have to become better as what we were yesterday. And the third thing, when we talk about identifying and turning into our strength, the third and very most important part is taking action, setting the action plan and acting on it. Otherwise, Otherwise, it will be a daydreaming that, yes, I'm telling myself that I am one of the best speaker, but not taking action on it. The moment I have decided, I'll tell you through the progress of our discussion, that the moment I have decided that I want to work on my public speaking skill, I have joined something, I have started taking action every single day, every single week, month, and for years. It is a continuous process. I have realized that one after the other, my actions, my public speaking assignment, what it actually does, it boosts the confidence. Take an opportunity you will find in the near future. Grab it. You will be able to do.
branch topic.
You'll be able to do as compared to that if you will leave that opportunity and will wait for the right time, that yes, I'll go through all the available material on public speaking, I'll read all the books. What it will do, it will make your fear, your anxiety more severe. Action cures fear, and indecision, postponement fertilizes fear. So that was the 3 basic steps you have to do to work upon your belief, to work upon your strength, to start your journey. And when we talk about fear, our next point is overcoming stage fear and building confidence. Right. So that uneasy feeling when you step on the stage, or when you hear that it's your turn, maybe in a small gathering, that it's your turn to introduce yourself. I remember when I mentioned about introduction, it used to give me nightmare. Even in a virtual meeting, if I used to attend and there was a chance that each attendee had to introduce themselves, or for that matter, asking a question. Forget about being delivering a session, addressing online or offline meetings, or anything else. Even to introduce myself and asking the question was a very difficult task for me. And why this fear? It is proven that public speaking is the fear more than death. People are not having fear of death as equal as they fear from public speaking. And why it happens? Ask yourself why it happens. Because what is at stake when we will be performing, when we will be opening our mouth? What is at stake? It is our reputation. What will happen if we will not deliver up to the mark? What will happen if I will flumble? I will not add value. What people will think? The reputation threat that we are having, this is the biggest threat for us, which is stopping us to perform. सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग? And most of us, I also had this. You are also having. You are not alone in this journey or the phase at which you are currently. It was said by American writer and a humorist, Mark Twain, there are two types of speakers, those who are nervous and those who are liars. Yes. So those who says that they are not nervous, they are liars. Because there is nervousness, there is that fear. Even the seasoned speaker are having fear of public speaking. You'll say, what will be the fear of seasoned speaker? Sometime addressing the new audience, addressing new topic, that familiarity threat, everyone has. And you are not new to it. I've read about them. Warren Buffett, he was having the fear of public speaking. He took course from help from the coach Dale Carnegie, and how he is now, we all know. Likewise, you will find many personalities who have worked earlier, who are having, those who were having the stage fright, and now they are doing great. So what we have to do, or normally what we do to avoid, keep away from this fear of stage. So as per behavioral analyst, we normally adopt two strategies. One is avoiding to open our mouth, to speak up in any conference meeting, being it offline or online. And another one is trying to eliminate that fear completely. But do you know what? There will not be a situation where you will be able to eliminate that fear completely. Because if I give you the real practical example of my yesterday's session, I spoke on another platform of ICAI where I've spoken for the first time. And on the platform of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, today is the third time I'm speaking. So by now, in 3 sessions, I'm comfortable for this platform. But for that platform on which I spoke yesterday, I was little anxious. Anxious in terms of what will be the audience response, because the crowd over there was different. So will I be taken well? Will I be able to connect with the audience? How it will happen? So that familiarity thread, the fear of how we will perform in new situation in front of new audience, I was having yesterday. Then you will say that avoidance is right, Kalpana. You are saying that through avoidance we can is not ideal. We have to face it. But when we try to eliminate it, then too we will not be able to get rid of it. This is how this is possible, what you are saying. So it is like this, my dear friend, that if you will try to eliminate it completely, so what you are doing exactly? You are constantly reinforcing the fear in your head that this is bad and I have to eliminate it. I don't have to fear. And you are actually what you are doing actually. You are focusing. And when you will focus over it, you will bring more fear and anxiety. And what we have to do it. We don't have to get over it. We have to get used to it. अब ये कैसे होगा? So have you heard or someone who is trying to control a horse? That horse throws back the person who is trying to control him on the ground, and they try to take charge on that horse, that uncontrollable horse. So similarly, we have to take control of this fear. We have to make this a habit. And what is habit? In the language of neuroscience, it is defined as routine behavior that is repeated regularly. And it tends to occur subconsciously. So what do you understand by it tend to occur subconsciously? For this, I would like you to take stages of learning. But there are 4 stages of learning. Just now we have referred about subconsciously, right? So we want to have the habit of public speaking into our habit. So first stage of learning is unconscious incompetency. And I'll give you the example of driving. I am trying to learn driving. I've learned it, but I want to become an ace learner at fourth stage from the year 2017. So before 2017, I was not aware. What is unconscious incompetency is that skill exists, but you are not aware about it. So I was taking public transport or other means of transport to reach to my destination, but I was not aware about that skill of driving. Then comes 2017 when I felt like, yes, now I have some saving and let's have some luxury to travel by my own. And then I've realized that, oh, I don't know driving. So now in the stage 2, you know that the skill exists, but you are not able to do it. Then the third stage come conscious competency, that you start learning. So from 2017 till 2024, I am into third stage when I take out my car on the road. I have to put in effort to keep control of clutch, brake, accelerator, gear, looking back, looking ahead if someone is coming. So I have to put in effort to drive. As compared to that, if I am sure most of you are into the fourth stage when it comes to driving, that you drive and it happens unconsciously that you keep track of everything. If someone is coming from behind or in front, how much distance you have to keep from the vehicles driving by your side, right? So how it happened? It happened with practice. The activity which we do day to day, like brushing our teeth, waking up in the morning, making our bed, do we take extra effort to do it? No. It happens, it all the activity happens, I'll say, in the background, and we normally focus on the major theme of the day. So how the habit is formed? I've taken it from one of the interesting TEDx talk delivered by Dr. Anvesha Banerjee. She is a neuroscientist. Stage fright, don't get over it, get used to it. So how the habit is formed? This part is basal ganglia, which is actually helping us to form a habit. When we engage in a new situation, our brain is hyperactive. So likewise, we have taken the example of driving. When we start driving, our brain is hyperactive, putting it effort to do that. Similarly, when we start speaking, when we starting our public speaking journey, that fear is severe. Our brain turn into hyperactive mode, trying to deal with it. But as we engage ourselves more and more, the brain gets a lot less active. Because what happens? The brain gets habituated, and that habit is formed in basal ganglia. If I give you my experience, if I'll share you my experience, how it happened for me, is how my habit have built, how I have habituated from the past 2 years. Is I still remember the first day when I have spoken as a speaker. It was a virtual session on the platform of ICAI itself in the year 2022. 30th September 2002, I have spoken on opportunities in corporate law, right? I have prepared thoroughly for 1 month, day in, day out, apart from doing my day-to-day personal and professional work. And as it was new. My brain was hyperactive all the time, having that feeling that how it will turn out. So all that symptoms of worry, anxiety was there, was evident. But then too, that session went well with the help of, as I have mentioned, constant and deliberate practice. But after that also, so September 22, and after that also, I was someone who was not comfortable when it comes to public speaking. And what has happened that made me to think that yes, now it's the time. So it was May 2023, last year. I was attending one of the session in the Faridabad branch, in my home branch in Haryana, Faridabad branch of ICI. There was faculty development program offline session, faculty development program by ICI for career counseling session, and I have attended that session. Gaurav Agarwal sir, who is now treasurer of NIRC, was the speaker in that session. Close to 50 fellow chartered accountants was there in that session. And at the end of the session, I was having a question, and it was a valid question. But I was not having that courage to ask that question. I was thinking when the Q&A session started, I was thinking whether I should ask or I should not ask. I was not having that courage to put across that question which I was having. And when I was in this dilemma, in this juggle, in this self-talk, that negative talk, that belief, negative belief, limiting belief, what we have discussed few minutes back, all of that sort of feeling was going on. From my left, one of the chartered accountant, she was taking, I got to know that she is already into this career counseling session from last 2 3 years. I would say one of the confident personality. I label it at that point of time as compared to me. That comparison was also there at that point of time. She asked that question and sir took good 5 minutes to explain. And I was not listening to that explanation which was going on. Again, that guilt, that self-talk was started. And this was not first time I was encountering this situation in my life. Because from my childhood, I was knowing that yes, to speak up, to express what you feel is important. But I was not having that guts, that courage, that belief on myself to open my mouth. And it took me, as usual, hours to come out of it. But what great happened? What was the best part of that incident and why I am discussing with all of you? All of us knows that yes, this is the skill we need for our progress, our growth. And if you are someone who want to be part of other side of the table, that you have something to share with the masses, this is needed. You cannot do anything without it. All of us knows it. And we are standing today on 31st December 2024 when we are up to set your new year resolution, right? So I was also someone who was keeping her resolution year after year that yes, Kalpana, you have to work upon your public speaking skill. You have to emerge as a great orator. But it was only limited, this thought, this noble thought of mine was only limited to set my resolution every year. I was not taking deliberate effort and action towards it. And my dear friend, this was the incident which I am sharing with all of you. I have shared couple of times on many of the platform that yes, this was, I have texted to Gaurav sir also, that this was the incident that fueled that spark that yes, Kalpana, being into 10 years, more than 10 years into profession, you are a chartered accountant. You have served for half a decade for one of the big four, Deloitte. Now you are into own practice. And still, you were not having the courage to ask a simple question. Raise your hand and put across a question where you are progressing. I was having this guilt as compared to all the attempts, incident that happened in my life in the past. But this incident actually made me feel the urgency to work on my public speaking skill. And what exactly I did after that, when we talk about belief, when we have discussed about how to come out of limiting belief, the third step I have mentioned was taking action. And what action I have started taking, I have immediately joined Toastmasters in the month of June. I've showed up in the meeting of Toastmaster as a guest, and then it is a club where you work upon your public speaking and communication skill. I've joined there, and not only have joined, I have started working continuously, showing up in every meeting, speaking up in trying to speak in every meeting, trying to grab the opportunity in every single situation wherever possible. The one who was afraid to say the question which was in her mind or to introduce herself has turned into someone who said yes to every single opportunity, or I would rather frame it that I have created my own opportunities. I have started my YouTube channel. At that point of time, started putting in my small videos. So there was action, continuous action, and with which what happened, that fear I was having, that butterfly in my tummies that I was having when my turn was supposed to come, slowly and gradually I became habitual for that. And that is the biggest mantra to work upon your fear of public speaking, which I personally have taken and encountered that yes, this is the best way. Or else, what happens that when you will read many books or various talk is there by many renowned speaker on this subject matter, that what they say is focus on your breath, be in the present moment. So there are steps and set pattern to do it. It will happen when you, but over and above that, grabbing the opportunity, showing up every time on the stage is what we have to do. And in this process, we will slowly and gradually learn. When we will shift our focus, what happens that I do not have the count. I have in my list to do it. In mid of the year, it was more than 50 sessions. So what happens? When we are habitual of being on the stage, then we bring our focus to other things, that yes, now I am comfortable on the stage. Now I do not have to focus here and there on my breath, and for that matter, any other methodology. Now what next? What I have to do to become great in whatever I am mentioning? What I have to do where for after which I'll be well taken by the audience. So your focus shifts. You'll think that yes, now what next? So what you have to do, note it down that from tomorrow, from 2025, you will not wait to get another piece of information that how to embark your journey of public speaking, how to master your public speaking, but you will embrace, you will have your action plan ready that yes, I have to join this, I have to start practicing daily for these many minutes. If you have some niche area for you, like any technical topic, GST, internal audit, CSR, or anything which you want to share with the world, you can start. If you're not getting the opportunity, and I must say, today is the time where if you will decide that you have to grab the stage, there are plenty of opportunities available. One is the we are blessed to be part of this amazing community, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. With little effort, you will find opportunities on this very platform itself. And let's suppose you don't want to approach there, what you can do, create your content, start a YouTube channel. It will not cost you anything. All of us are having this mobile phone. That's what you have to do. I have also done it from this. Start recording yourself and putting that on the public domain on YouTube. This is the best way to do. Together with the learning, do performing, making your mind habitual to the state of being delivering your talk. It will make you habitual. Now comes the next point. audience engagement. So let's suppose now you are habitual of being on the stage and you have control on that fear. How to have audience engagement and why it is important. Think why it is important. I've mentioned about the focus. Where our focus is when we speak. And normally what happen at the initial stage, our whole focus is on ourselves. There are three aspects of any speaking assignment, any message which is delivered on any of the forum or platform. First is the speaker, you. Second is the audience to which you want to pass on your information. And third is your message. When you will have that focus on your audience and the message you want to deliver, because why you want to speak? Either you want to educate your audience or inspire. Like in my session today, I want to inspire all of you by sharing some of the strategies, some of the action point, those worked for me well with all of you, so that you can embrace this journey, you can embark this journey in 2025 and feel that phenomenal experience. Like I always mention that my real birth happened on the day when I have decided to come out of that cage of limiting belief that yes, Kalpana, you cannot perform, you cannot speak well, you cannot influence anyone that day. And it happened in May 2023 last year. And I want to inspire all of you with my story, with my learning, my takeaways, and to embark your journey. Some of you want to share the piece of information, the experience you have in any on any technical area. Like we were mentioning few minutes back, GST, internal audit, or any other topic for that matter, you want to share with the masses. You want to advance your career, or you want to make an impact. There will be a purpose why you want to speak. So are you having that focus? What is your message? What you want to give it to that masses? Because where focus goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, whatever you are focusing on grows. So when you tend to focus on your anxiety, nervousness, it will grow. I'm not saying that it will happen overnight, that you will shift your focus to your message and audience. But as we have mentioned, with the constant practice and attempting it again and again and again, it will happen. So you have to decide, it's your choice where you have to focus. We have decided, we have discussed what to do with our limiting belief, where to keep our focus on our audience, on our message. But where to start? I've mentioned about it just now, that what you want to share with your audience. And it should not be something, I have encountered some of the people, these query came to me in the past is, I want to speak. I know maybe I'll do good, I'll be good at it, but I don't know what to speak. Can you help me to identify the topic on which I can be I can be delivering my session? No one else will give you that answer. Because when we start speaking, when we will start preparing, it should be a topic which should be near to our heart. We should be passionate about it. Then only we will be authentic to share our experience, our take on that particular subject. Otherwise, first of all, you are attempting something where people are having fear more than death. Plus, what you are doing, you are burdening yourself with a topic which is not familiar to you, not close to your heart. Then tell me how you will be able to do justice to it. Why I'm having this picture in front of you? How I have started. I've realized in last year in May 2023 that I have to work upon my public speaking skill. But during the Corona time, when I was attending many of the sessions, online sessions organized by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on technical topic, apart from that, I was doing many online self-help sessions, trainings. At that point of time, I have realized that together with number, being a chartered accountant, together with numbers, connecting with the people is something excites me more. And when I have started speaking, these are the areas. When I have started speaking in Toastmasters or other platform, initially I was talking about my journey. The learnings I had from my life. And it was giving me that fuel. I must say that I will say magic wand to connect with the audience. That, yes, Kalpana, these are the situations that people are facing in their life, and it can add value to their life. It can be a guiding path for them, and it helped me to do it more. So you'll say that why our topic, our point of discussion is now is audience engagement. Are you trying to understand what I am trying to say? To have that audience engagement, do you own? Do you believe what you are saying? Because that is needed very much to have that connection with the audience. Because if I myself is not connected to what I am speaking, how will I be able to connect my audience with me and the message I am sharing with all of them? That is very important. You have to consider if you are someone who is on the initial stages of embarking this journey. Then after that comes all those methodology about keeping your audience engaged and moving throughout your session. Make them think. Like in this session, I'm not getting the privilege to interact with all of you the way I do in my other sessions, but then too, I'm trying to pause wherever possible and urging you to think what I'm trying to do. In NLP language, meeting you where you are, what you are thinking at this moment, and taking you where I want you to take. In my last session in how to have the how to do the presentation and speaking for the maximum engagement in presentation on this very platform. I had the detailed session on the presentation and audience engagement, and I would request you to go back to the recording. We have discussed in detail about audience engagement, and here is some of the point from that session, that you have to keep your audience engaged by urging them to think with you, to taking through what you are speaking, not just giving the piece of information to them, but making them live through the speech you are giving. Like right now, what I am trying to do. At every point in time, I am bringing my own story, because I know some of you will be able to relate to it. And in that way, what I'm trying to build, a connection with all of you. Why this connection is needed? I do not want this 2 hour session to be an entertainment for all of you. When it will turn to be an entertainment, after 2 p.m., you will close your this session and will be back to your work without having a single thought about what I have mentioned in this 120 minutes, or what the new piece of information or insight you have received from my experience on public speaking, on mastering public speaking. It will turn into entertainment. And I do not want to keep it as entertainment. I want you to take action. And that action from your end, when it will happen, when I will connect with all of you. I hope you all are trying to understand what I am trying to say. Then there are few things as a speaker we have to keep in mind. Starting strong, not in a predictable way. I'll go through it quickly because, as I have mentioned, the previous session was elaborative when it comes to audience engagement. Connecting with the audience, be interactive as much as possible, involve them. Otherwise, human mind, we tend to have a very short span of attention period. Keeping visuals, you must be noticing. I have tried to keep as many as visual aids in my presentation, and that's how I do in my all of the speaking assignment, because together with what I am saying, you are getting something to focus on, and it will help me to have your attention from two sides, from auditory and from visual. So have that visual in your presentation, in your speech. Simplify the information. Try to trigger the emotion. At the start, what I have tried to say, the projection, your life is projection of what you are going through here. And time and again, I'm trying to trigger your emotion, sorry. Maintaining dialogue, the conversation with the audience. It should not be. Let's take an example. If this presentation would have been only like I am giving you these facts and not sharing my own experience, how it would have turned into. You must have been part of any of the discussion where there was no much dialogue and conversation and involvement of audience. That talk normally turned into a very monotonous one, where the impact which was supposed to have on the audience is not happening. Leverage the technology, like right now I'm leveraging Canva. This PPT is created on Canva, and adapt to feedback. If time permits, we will touch upon this feedback and practice in little elaborative way at the end. But for now, I'll tell you that at every single attempt to speak on the stage or any of the platform, you will receive some feedback. Or if you are not receiving it, approach your audience, your colleague, your senior to give you feedback and incorporate those to be better in your next assignment. Or if you are not getting the opportunity for now, if you're recording yourself, go back to that recording and note down where you feel there is a need to improvement and work upon it. If I'll give my example, in Toastmasters meeting, in my initial days, I used to reach out to the senior Toastmaster or my mentors to have their feedback, to have their evaluation, that where I want to focus more, where I was great, and what are the areas where I should be focusing more, putting my efforts more. Because only performance having without having the input and the ingredients which is missing, and to put the ingredients which is missing in your dish of public speaking, will not give you the desired result which you want. So we have talked about belief. I'm sure how many of you at this moment are feeling that whatever I'm speaking, it is good to hear but difficult to implement? Or whatever Kalpana is mentioning, I don't see that it is possible to do. How many of you think in that way? I want the answer. Answer to yourself. If you are thinking in that way at this very moment, then my dear friend, you have not come out of that limiting belief which we have discussed from where we have started our discussion. What is life? In so yes, yesterday I was having a session on positivity, and by another speaker it was mentioned that a very beautiful thing. What is life? It is nothing but our journey from B to D, from birth to death. And what is between birth to death? It is the choices that we made and what you are choosing at every single moment. When it comes to being aware of your thought, the thought process which is going in your mind, where you are focusing at every moment. Are you someone who is trying to focus on the brighter side of every single incident and aspect of your life? Or you tend to focus on the negative part? Choice is yours. I'm the someone who is sharing from my own experience that I was knowing that what this Kalpana is from my childhood, and thanks to my mother for fueling that spark inside me at that very young age. However, my dear friends, it took decades for the world to realize what that spark I am having inside me. So choice is yours. Another year of your life is over. 2020. I'm not making you afraid. I'm telling you the hard truth. Another year of our life, 2024, we are about to say goodbye in next couple of hours. At this moment, look back. When you are here, when you are spending your precious time on this 31st December, when most of the world is enjoying and being with their family and friends, you are putting this good 2 hours to listen to me on this topic. And I consider in that case that you are actually serious about it. So, do you want to pass the coming year 2025 in the same way, with the same feeling which you are having at this moment when you look back to the whole year of 2024? All those opportunities, missed opportunities, those you have not taken by having those limiting beliefs. If you do not have to end 2025 in the same way, be habituated to the fear, Stage fear we have discussed in a way. Show up wherever possible and engage with your audience. That's the 3 pointers we have discussed till now. What next? You'll start your journey. You have worked on your limiting belief. Let's take an example. You are appearing on the stage. What you need to do? What else? What the next step you have to do? Before that, I would like you to watch this video.
Barack Obama in 2004 was totally unknown. People were saying, "Huh, I don't know who this guy is. Wonder why they picked him."
He had his reputation as a bit of an upstart, as sort of a young rising figure in the party, but no one knew who this guy was. This was his chance to introduce himself to people.
Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya.
What makes a great political speech is if you can somehow fold your story into this larger American story.
The next thing he says is about his mother's family. His grandfather fought in World War II. He used the GI Bill. They settled in Kansas, so white people could say, "Oh, he's just like us."
My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
Going into this speech, we've had 4 years of George Bush, and we felt as a country like we've grown further apart.
04 was very much a divisive partisan race. Obama's speech is in some ways an antidote to that.
Alongside our famous individualism, there's another ingredient in the American saga, a belief that we're all connected as one people. If there's a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me, even if it's not my child. If there's a senior citizen somewhere who can't pay for their prescription drugs and having to choose between medicine and the rent, that makes my life poor, even if it's not my grandparent. It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work. E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
He gives a speech that presages his entire political message of 2008, which is this sort of post-partisan argument.
Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
Obama was born with two great gifts. One is his mind, and the other is his ability to speak to large groups of people.
There are 3 things that Obama does that really makes that speech effective. He wants concrete detail. He likes story, and he loves antithesis, the use of repetition and structure to show contrast. There is not a liberal America or a conservative America. There is one America.
There is not a Black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states, but I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states, and yes, we've got some gay friends in the red states. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America.
The way he uses his hands, he actually points a lot, does a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of that.
In doing so, he gives off this sense of energy. I am new. I'm someone who is dynamic.
And he doesn't do that so much anymore. He's a little more solemn and reserved when he gives speeches today. And I think it's more reflective of his office.
In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope? It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope.
His appearance at that convention, which was the best speech of the convention, better than John Kerry's, was electrifying. And without it, he wouldn't be president.
I think sincerity means a lot. There are people who, when they speak the truth as they see it, and they're very effective doing it.
I believe this country will reclaim its promise, and out of this long political darkness, a brighter day will come. Thank you very, very much, everybody. God bless you.
So what was my purpose to go through all of you through this video? Because what you say together with that, how you say it is also important. Earlier, if you have crossed those, then what the next you have to follow, you have to work upon. Because initially this question ponder in our mind that we are speaking, but now what are the areas that I should be looking at specifically to become better version, better speaker every time when I appear on the stage? And that's the question I was also having at the start, that where to start. There is a topic, I have prepared for it and I have spoken. What next? I have to look at it or I have to improve. So there are the three aspects. When you are listening to me right now, what you are doing, what I am doing for that matter, my spoken words are there, and how I am speaking. So auditory, right? And the visuals. You are able to see the slides on your screen, plus my gestures, my facial expression, my eye contact. Even though this is a virtual meeting, how I am keeping my eyes, whether I am smiling, whether at the time of speaking, do I speak with the feeling? So when we talk about voice tone and modulation pauses, what it means? It means that when you speak, do you feel whatever you are speaking? The speech we just saw, Barack Obama's speech that made him president in the year 2004, what he was doing, he was not only speaking, he was feeling those movements, whatever he was mentioning. And as for the research done by psychologist Albert Mehrabian, there are three components of any communication that we do. And words that I am speaking right now, it's comprising only 7%. And the rest is what? Majority, 55% is how I am saying it, what my body movement, what my gesture is. And 38% is, as I have mentioned, am I feeling what I am saying? So these are the three areas, vocal, visual, and verbal, where you have to work upon one by one. And that will take you your speaking assignment to the next level. It will enhance the connection with the audience. It will give you the success in a journey because of which to your why you have started, why you want to do it. It will give the answer to that why you will succeed in that after working in these areas strategically and dedicated effort and constant practice. First, focus on the major part is our gesture, our facial expression. How to start this? Initially, I remember, I'll tell you, my example is when I used to speak, there was so much of hurry. First of all, in those days, last year when I have started, the feeling of not having the command over the language I was facing. But the strategies I have mentioned before this, I was actually following those, showing up every time. And what that habitual to the habit will come to play at all stages. That when you habitual, you bring in your focus to other things. That am I smiling when I addressing the audience? And in offline setup, to start with, what I have mentioned in the slide, the body language. So right now when I'm sitting, let's take start for this virtual session. I'm sitting, ensuring that I'm in mid of the frame. You're able to see my eyes and my hands expression, right? In the offline setup, what you will ensure to look confident. There is a famous saying, fake it until you make it. In the initial day, I remember when I have spoken for the first time as a guest in my first Toastmaster meeting, I got the this feedback that the butterfly in my tummies, which I am mentioning, is actually not appearing much in my speech. So what I was doing, I was faking it. And what that fakeness, how I was pretending that I am good at it by having that body language, that standing straight, eye contact, trying to maintain the eye contact. At the initial stage, you will say it is difficult. It will happen slowly and gradually. Initially, look at the blank spot at the end of the room or the conference hall where you are starting your session. Slowly and gradually, when you will be habitual, you will see that you are keeping your eyes on the faces you are comfortable with. Or to add you and give you a strategy is moving your eyes and pretending that you are having the eye contact with everyone, but you are actually looking at the blank spot. Initially, you have to start with this because looking right into the eye is at initial stage. It is the reason of that fear most, because all the eye on you, on that one poor you in the room. That's the whole story, right? Why we don't want to do it. So we have to do it. We have to embrace it. We have to be in this habit. And coming back to what I was discussing about the body language, posture. So imagine if from start of the session, I would have been speaking like this. I'm sure all of you are getting my point. What I'm trying to say that you have to work upon your body language. And here I would like to tell you, all of you must be watching TED Talks, right? And you'll surprised to know that the viral TED Talk those have received the love of from the audience in those famous TED Talks, the hand movements was close to 450. As against that, those were not so good. In those, the hand movements were close to 265. And what I was trying to do from last 1 minute, and that's is not my style to speak, and that's what I want to try to all of you. With gestures, with our eye contact, with our facial expression, if it is an offline setup, when we move on the stage, what we are doing, we are trying to underline what we are saying. What is the ideal position to keep your hand? It is from this up to your belly button. So this is the place, because of this setup, I'm not able to show you properly. So this is the, from here, from your nose to your belly button, this is the ideal place. You don't have to do like this unless and until you're talking on any very motivating or any topic where you want to keep your hand movement extreme. It is advisable to be keep near your body and a comfortable. It should be natural, not a with too much effort. Eye contact, we have mentioned that when we will be having a eye contact with the audience, it means that we are with them. Are you noticing my facial expression? Or in the past, if you have attended any session, online or offline, where the speaker was not expressive when it comes to having the facial expression, you are having that connect with the audience? No. And to help the audience live through what you are speaking, this is needed. How that speech we have just referred by Barack Obama, what the extra ingredient was there, the expression we are talking about. And from the start itself, you have to look professional, have to put effort to look appropriate to the occasion where you are speaking. It will add on to your confidence. And at the same time, when we say, again, I'll mention that first impression is the last impression. Before you open your mouth, what the conversation you are having with the audience, like a book, how we judge a book by its cover, your appearance says a lot before you say anything. Here, I would like to give you one tip is initially get yourself recorded. Any of the, in virtual meeting, it is possible, very much easy. In the offline setup also, if you're starting your journey, get yourself recorded and go back to the recording. Once, do not play the video and do not look at it and only hear. You will get to know that how you are sounding. And then mute it and then watch the video. In both the scenario, it will help you to the areas where you have to work upon. Practicing in front of mirror. Rehearsing it before that final performance, having the mock session with your friends, with your colleague, whom you feel will give you genuine feedback, will help you a lot. We will discuss about it in little more detail if time will permit at the end. Let's move to the tonality. So it's now 1:30. Are you all waiting to get this session over? Tell me. Or all of you are enlightened with the insight I am sharing right now? Tell me. I am asking a question to all of you. Are you feeling excited? You are sitting today at this moment about to say goodbye to 2024 and welcome a new year 2025. Are you excited and having curiosity to embrace the methodology I have shared with all of you? I am asking a question. Are you trying to observe how I am trying to change my pitch and tone? With bringing that excitement, or for that matter, any disappointment when I've mentioned that? Is all of you waiting to get this session over? Or it is a virtual session, you don't have to wait to get it over. You can log out of the session and it will be over. So you have to work upon your pitch and tone, pacing. At the start, in the initial day of your, if you are in your initial day of embracing your public speaking, what will happen that when we have that fear, that anxiety, our heart rate goes up and we breathe very quickly. It's like, and in that process, when we speak, that hurriness reflect in our speaking. So before starting your speech, take a deep breath. This practice is followed by famous personalities in the domain of public speaking, that take a few deep breaths. Now take with me 5 deep breaths. Exhale. And what I do together with this deep breathing before any speaking assignment, before any event, with every breath, I say some of the affirmation. Say, for example, when today I have been introduced, I'll give you a very recent and the practical example, which I normally follow. With my deep breath, I say, today's session is going to be amazing. I'm going to share the insight through which audience is going to benefit it the most. They'll make sense out of every single word, every single strategy I'll be sharing with them. I'm grateful for this opportunity. This next 120 minutes I have to address this wonderful souls. Those have gathered to hear me, to hear my insight. So what you are doing, I'll take you back to where we have started working here. Telling it if it is getting in that hyperactive mode, giving it the message to calm down. And initially, it will help you to work on your pacing. Because if you are having that calm and composed pace, it is the sign of expertise. Those who are having the weightage in what they are saying, they do not have to keep their voice louder. Deep breathing, belly breathing, you can search about these You'll get to know this will help to have that calm and composed pacing when we speak. So that was around pitch, tone, pacing, and volume. You must be noticing when the point come for pauses that during my session I am taking prolonged pauses more than required. Why pauses are needed when we speak? It is important from the audience perspective as well as it is important for you as a speaker at the same time. How? Through the speed and pace we are speaking, we have to give time to the audience to grasp whatever we are saying. Otherwise, tell me whatever I have spoken from the start of the session about limiting belief, then we have spoken about stage fear, then I have also spoken about the engagement, audience engagement. But in that, I have mainly focused about where you have to focus, and I have not mentioned in detail one by one strategy that you should be following at the start, during your session, at the end, that what you have to do. Are you with me in my last couple of sentences? I'm sure you were not. So the pauses gives the audience to grasp what you are saying, and at the same time it gives you the time to articulate your thought. Because to have that connect with the audience, normally it happens that we will try to take help of our notes or refer to the speech which we have structure. But it is advisable always to have the outline and not the whole script of what you have to speak. In those cases, the connection will not be there. So the pauses will help you to articulate your thought. Where to emphasize more, which point you want the audience to focus more, to take with them, the take home point, how you are speaking, where to take pause and not, all of these will help. So that's how, after the body language, how you are speaking, you have to focus one by one and working on it. When I talk about pauses, I remember 6 months back, I was the one who used to take many filler words. Filler words is like and so, which is actually not needed in the sentences. And now that uses of filler word, few of them to come when we articulate our thought is natural, but many of them, what it does, it actually take the attention away of our audience from the main message we are trying to speak. And whatever I am speaking right now, it happened with the constant practice and with the awareness. Initially, earlier, when the pauses which I am taking right now, they are the plan and the strategic I want at those pointers to stop and make you think. But earlier, when these sort of occasions was coming, it was coming like this. And it happens when English is not our native language. In that case also, it happens that we do most of the time. So with awareness, be comfortable with pause. Be aware, first of all, that what are the filler words you are using, and be comfortable with pause. Do not speak anything that and so at that moment. Initially, it will take much of effort, but slowly and gradually it will happen. This is all of the thing which we are talking, it is in itself a topic of detailed discussion and putting emphasis from your end. What we are doing in this 2 hours is discussing the outline that in your journey of mastering the public speaking, what are the pointers you should have in your mind to work upon step by step. Then comes the third element are words. And these are the foundation we have how to take care of this part. Clear, concise, and clarity. Correctness, that 7C of effective communication, if you remember. Whatever the words you are using, like in today's session, I have not mentioned at any point of time about the considering the audience background, from where your audience are coming, what they want actually, what they know beforehand. Whatever information you want to share with them, is it possible that they know beforehand? And I'm sure most of the thing that I have shared today, some of you may be knowing it before, some of you may not be knowing it before. So what you have to do to have your message relevant to your audience, you have to be mindful of how you are structuring your speech, how you will start, how you will put in your story. Being a chartered accountant, I know here the audience comprise of mostly the chartered accountant, either who are in practice or in service. So my own example will best fit in to relate with all of you. And the words and the example I am using, the structure I am using for my presentation. So all of this will happen when we will have that in our mind, that who is our audience, and if we do not aware much about, if say for example this session was for ICAI, I know the audience. If it would have been for any another platform, I would have done some extra homework to know the comprise of my audience, to have to structure my message. And what is the purpose, what I want to do, the one which we have started discuss at the start, what you want to do. When we were discussing about the audience engagement, you want to inform, you want to motivate, you want to entertain. This will also help you to work upon your words, what you will be speaking. There's a famous quote by Dale Carnegie: only prepared speaker deserve to be confident. You must have gone through the Steve Jobs speeches whenever he launched new Apple product. If you not know this, you will surprise by realizing that there is an enormous effort and preparedness by Steve Jobs before delivering a talk. He has practiced for hundreds times. So, are you prepared? Repetition is the mother of all learning. To make our mind habitual and slowly and gradually focusing on other aspects, repetition is needed. And if I will sum up my whole discussion, what we have done from last close to 2 hours, it will sum up in 3 words, my dear friends. Practice, practice, practice. if I'll get the opportunity to deliberate the same topic and I'll be speaking with the same slides, same methodology, same time frame, what will change? I will improve. My next deliberation will improve because I'm into my awareness and realizing that in today's session, at some of the places, my pronunciation is not correct. And why this is happening? Because at this moment, my dear friend, that habitual of taking any session, speaking to the audience is so much that now I'm aware that how I'm speaking, how my gesture is, how the pronunciation is happening. And that all is because of practice, practice, practice. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You will be having a question that how to build a confidence. Answer is repeated practice. Any fear which we have, if we will attempt it again and again and again, what we are doing, we are turning our mind from that hyperactive mode to that subconscious mode, autopilot mode. And that's what you have to do. With that, I conclude my today's deliberation, and I wish all of you a very best year to embark your public speaking journey for 2025. Thank you so much. Over to you, CA Piyush Agarwal ji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Piyush ji, any question from your part?
No, ma'am. No, sir. I thought I feel मैडम ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझाया है सभी को.
Yeah.
तो और मेरा ये सेकंड सेशन है बाय लक, तो मैं पहले भी मैम को सुन चुका हूँ. तो उस समय क्वेश्चन था वो मैंने उसी समय क्लिक किया था, तो लास्ट टाइम ही पूछ लिया था. So
नहीं, public speaking, if any question is there from your part or anybody else, you can ask her.
right now, no question from any chat box.
No question is.
Should I move ahead or wait for a while?
Just go ahead.
Okay. So it has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful webcast of Mastering the Art of Public Speaking of Chartered Accountants, organized by the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI. On behalf of the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Kalpana Thakur, for her enlightening session. Sincere thanks to the event enablers from the Chittorgarh branch of CIRC of ICI, who enabled the webcast throughout. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organizer, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI. Our today's speaker, CA Kalpana Thakur, and other stakeholders made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank all of you present here in helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, ma'am. And we wish from Chittorgarh branch to a very happy new year to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Sambit sir.
Thank you.